What's up, guys? It's me, Crystal Pokedude, here with a second star theory. I know, this was the original star theory I had before I did my Are Humans Immortal. This is even being filmed like an hour later because it's only being filmed an hour later because I had to spend an hour getting the audio file downloaded. I spend less time scripting this. All of this is just improvised. If you want me to script, comment, but honestly, this was my original Star versus theory before I had the realization, wait. So, yeah, you're probably gonna need the Arm Humans Immortal theory to understand. Link will probably be in the description if I remember. Anyway, on with the theory. So, is Eclipsa soul bonded? I know I requested this to Aiden at Cartoon Apocalypse about a month ago, but since then I've kind of found more evidence to support this theory, and that comes in the case of there's two major factors. One, which was my Arm Humans Immortal stuff. Again, you need that to check this out. Okay, just watch that now. Anyway, but there were some things that I mentioned that Aiden didn't really get time to mention, and actually there was one thing that I've realized after the fact that he'd already filmed, but here it goes. So, yeah, timeline-wise, it sort of matches up, but I mean, we don't know if Eclipse has been in Crystal multiple times, you know? Eclipsa being in Crystal is something that's recurred, but it's not really... It's something we know. Last time she was in Crystal, she was in crystallized for 300 years. Prior to the battle for Muni, me and the Undaunted. The question is, was she put in Crystal prior to that? And when did the Magic Council High Commission find her? I mean, if we're going off my Arm Humans Immortal theory, if she was not the Queen of Muni at the time, then it's very well possible that they had to... It's very well possible that she could have lived for a few hundred years before being crystallized. And here's another thing. My whole... Only the Mumin Queen can be crystallized. Only the Mumin Queen can be killed. But the thing is, why was Eclipsa crystallized? You see, that kind of supports my Arm Humans Immortal theory. Just why did they spend time crystallizing Eclipsa if they could have just... And they could have just killed Eclipsa back then, but why did they waste time crystallizing her? It's an interesting theory. It's an interesting thing to bring up. Looking back at it, I probably should have thrown this into my theory about whether the one in the Mumin Queen throne is the only one that can be killed, because if you think about it that way, then Eclipsa leaving the throne means she can't be killed, meaning she had to be crystallized, because they can't really kill her. And that sets up some interesting debates, if Eclipsa actually does have a true plan and she rises to power, that means she can be killed. It's the title of Mumin Queen allows them to be killed, and since she was no longer Mumin Queen, she just sort of was immortal, which could set up into her being alive 667 years ago, which would lead to her being soul bonded. Now, I know I looked through the comment section on when it was Aiden's video, and I know the structure of it wasn't really... I hadn't really pieced it together that well back then. But I have another point now that kind of, adds another nail in the coffin, and that's... How was Tom so certain that he and Star would be soul bonded? He goes there with Star, thinking, like, almost automatically, okay, it's gonna be me and it's gonna be her and we're gonna get soul bonded. But why does Tom have this much certainty on the matter? Like, why is he almost practically on the verge of just being like, we can do this, this is gonna happen? Like, what's making him, like, this sure that he's going to get soul bonded with Star? Unless, in the past, there's been a trend of a human queen being soul bonded. Like, what gave Tom such certainty? Because there was a good 300 people in that crowd. What made Tom so certain that it was going to be him and Star? Unless something similar had happened in the past, and he's trying to recreate that moment. When he's saying, you've gotten the wrong song, and he's, like, insistent on the song, it could be he's trying to recreate a moment in history, the moment where one of Star's ancestors was bound to another of his kind. And yes, people are gonna say, but Tom's a Lucitor, and they're not considered monsters, but technically, the monster that Eclipsa ran away with was shown in Naysaya as referred to as a demon by Janna, so I mean, it's very well possible that they just married before the Lucitor kingdom was established. Like, if I eventually do the timeline, I will bond about, okay? Like, the timeline video will happen. But it's fair to assume that Eclipsa married this monster before the Lucitor kingdom was established. And they were still considered monsters. Because, like, practically every other kingdom is considered monsters until they've established their own hierarchy. Like, even the Pigeon Kingdom, they were probably considered monsters prior to them establishing a kingdom. And we see a lot of this in the one episode. I can't remember what episode it was. I've only seen it once, okay? It was the one... It was Starfari, that was it. Starfari. You get the point. But they made it clear there that there's some fine lines between what counts as another kingdom and what counts as a monster. So technically, it can go either way. But I mean, Eclipsa being soul bonded, the two key points are, I mean, she got this far with it, and the two key points were A, she was crystallized instead of just being killed. I mean, yeah, I actually forgot to put this in the the Humans Are Immortal video, but looking back in Star Crushed, Moon dies. And that adds to the theory that only the queens can die, because, well, you're telling to me that the one guy in Game of Flags was totally fine getting his head ripped off and put onto the body of a Warnicorn, yet Moon just got completely Moon got one-shotted by Toffee. I'm not really gonna buy that. But anyway, that's all for this one, and I hope you enjoy. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Have I presented enough evidence to make this more valid? Again, like, watching this video, plus Aiden's video on this, plus my Humans Are Immortal, we're piecing this together bit by bit. And, like, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and, well, that's all, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.